Hello everybody and welcome to Monday's English lesson. Okay, so you'll notice slightly different this one, in that I'm coming to you from this bubble here in the corner of the screen. And this lesson much of it will work quite differently in that some of the writing activities that you'll be doing today, you'll be doing during the video. So whereas normally me, Mr. Fenn, we do a bit of talking, then you do some writing, this time you'll be doing it during the video. So at points during this video, I'll tell you when you need to hit pause and there'll be a little writing activity to do. And hopefully that'll make sense as we go along, okay? So, our job today is to use commas in a list. And that's not new for us. We looked at it last term and we've even looked at it this term during our home learning. But it's always good to keep practicing these things so that we really know them inside out and we're really secure, okay? First thing you should bear in mind, comma looks like a full stop with a little tail, as I'm sure you remember. Okay, so to start with then, today we're going to recap using commas in a list, okay, how we use them correctly. And with that in mind, you can hopefully see on your screen there are 3 sentences. Number 1 in pink, number 2 in that kind of yellowy colour, and number 3 in blue. Now, all 3 of these sentences use commas, but only one of them uses commas correctly, okay? So I'm going to read through those sentences to you, and you can take a look at them on your screen. And I want you to think about which one looks and sounds right, and then which 2 are wrong, okay? So here they come. Here are the sentences. Number 1 in pink, I like running, comma, dancing, comma, swimming, full stop. That was, I like running, comma, dancing, comma, swimming. Number 2, I have a, comma, pencil, a, comma, pen, a, comma, colouring pencil. And number 3, my friends are Sam, comma, Bob, and Jeff. Okay, so those are the 3 sentences. Only one of them uses commas correctly. The other 2 are wrong. Which one's right and which 2 are wrong? Just have a quick think about that now. I'll just give you a moment to work it out. Okay, well, let's work through them. So number 1 was, I like running, comma, dancing, comma, swimming. Now this one is incorrect. It's close, but not quite, all right? And it might help to think about how you would naturally say something like this. Okay, now I wouldn't say, I like running, dancing, swimming. I would say, I like running, dancing, and swimming. All right, so you'll see that first comma in that sentence, that's right. Okay, there are 3 items in the list, running, dancing, swimming. Okay, now between the first 2, you need a comma. I like running, comma, dancing. But before the last item, you need to use and. So it should be, I like running, comma, dancing, and swimming. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Number 2. I have a, comma, pencil, a, comma, pen, a, comma, colouring pencil. Now, first of all, once again, we haven't got and here, but that's not the only problem with this one. Now, these commas here have been placed incorrectly, all right? Think about what the items on the list are, okay? A pencil is an item, a pen is an item, and a colouring pencil is an item. Okay, so items in a list might not be just one word like they were with that first sentence. Here it was running, dancing, swimming, all right? All the items were one word. Here though, a pencil, a pen, a colouring pencil, those are all noun phrases, right? You've got the determiner a in each of them, and then the nouns pencil, pen, colouring pencil. Now what's important here then is that the comma needed to go after the noun phrase. It needed to go after the item. And that's not what's happened here. Okay, so it should be, I have a pencil, comma, a pen, and a colouring pencil. So not quite right on number 2. Which leaves us with number 3, which is indeed correct. So number 3 was, my friends are Sam, comma, Bob, and Jeff. Alright, so we got 3 items on this list. Sam, Bob, and Jeff. 3 names, okay? After the first name, we need a comma. And before the last name, we need to use and. All right, and that's how we'd say it, isn't it? We'd say, my friends are Sam, Bob, and Jeff. You wouldn't say, my friends are Sam, Bob, Jeff. Okay? So remember, commas up until the last item, before the last item, you need and. Okay, and building on that a bit more, here are, and hopefully this should be familiar again, just reminding you of these. These are the kind of rules of using commas in a list. Okay, so rule number one, only use them for more than 2 items. Okay, so if you've got 2 things, say I'm talking about what I like, and I've got 2 things I like that I want to say. I like singing and I like dancing. Okay, you wouldn't say I like singing, dancing. You'd say I like singing and dancing. Okay, so if you've only got 2 items, you only need and between them. You don't need commas. Okay, so you're only using commas in a list if that list contains more than 2 items. Number 2, commas go after each item. Okay, now the important thing though to bear in mind here is that an item could be a single word. All right, so in the case of I went to the shop and I bought milk, cheese and butter. Milk, cheese, butter, those are all one word, okay? Or it could be like that sentence number 2 we looked at, where we have noun phrases: a pencil, a pen, a colouring pencil. Sometimes the items on a list might be a few words, right? Say my sentence was, I like playing the guitar, right? Comma, playing the guitar, that's one item. Going to the park with my friends, again, that's quite a few words, but it's only one item, all right? And dancing in my kitchen. Okay, again, a few words, but it's one item. So what you need to think really carefully about, don't just look for words and put commas in between all the words. Think about what are the items on the list, okay? Because sometimes it's just a word, sometimes it's a noun phrase, sometimes it's quite a few words, okay? And then finally, before the last item in your list, you need to use the word and, as we have talked about, okay? And that's how you talk naturally, isn't it? You'd say, I like swimming, playing football, and going to the park. Okay, you use and before that last thing on your list. Commas between the other things and before the last thing. Okay, so hopefully that all sounds familiar and you can all remember quite well the rules of how we use commas. Okay, so you'll have noticed while I've been waffling on that up here, right beside me, there's been an empty shelf throughout, okay? Now, our activity today, we're going to my shop, and I'm going to put some items on those shelves, and your job is going to be to write a full sentence listing the items that are on the shelf, okay? And you're going to use commas as you list them, all right? So right now, you will need to grab, if you haven't got it already, you'll need to grab your exercise book or a piece of paper and a pencil. Okay, so hit pause if you need to do that. And let's crack on. Okay, so, right, I've got some items on my shelves. Okay, you can see on the shelves there are apples, oranges and pears. What I want you to do is write a full sentence telling me what's on the shelves. Okay, you'll start that sentence with on the shelves there are. And then you need to finish it by listing the items. Okay, the items are apples, oranges, pears. But you will need to write that as a full sentence using commas in a list, okay? So, on the shelves there are, write that whole sentence telling me what's on the shelf, hit pause now, and please go ahead and do that. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. What we're going to do now is have a look at the answers. So if you haven't finished, no spoilers, hit pause again, just finish that sentence, because we are about to, any moment now, have a look at the answer. Okay, so this is what you should have written. On the shelves there are apples, comma, oranges and pears. So, comma between apples and oranges, okay, and then and before pears, because pears are the last item on the list. If you wrote your sentence like that, with the comma in the right place, and before the last item, give yourself a tick. And then get ready for the next sentence. Just pause now if you need to double check you've got that right though, okay? Right, here comes the next one. So, right, I've restocked my shelves. This time on the shelves there are cornflakes, Cocoa Pops, Rice Krispies, okay? So different variety of breakfast cereals. Of course, other cereals are available. What I'd like you to do then, once again, is write that as a whole sentence, listing what's on the shelves, remembering where commas and maybe other words like and need to go. Okay, so on the shelves there are, please write that sentence. Hit pause now. Okay, so hopefully you've written that sentence. If not, hit pause again. No spoilers. And we're going to go over to the next slide to see what the answer is. So, your sentence should look like this. On the shelves there are cornflakes, comma, Cocoa Pops, and Rice Krispies. Okay? 3 different items, right? And the comma goes after each item. Now, each item there isn't one word, it's 2 words. Cornflakes, comma, Cocoa Pops, and Rice Krispies. Okay? But they're one item, okay? Cocoa and Pops aren't 2 different items, so the comma goes after Cocoa Pops, all right? Or, sorry, cornflakes, all right? So if your sentence looks like that, on the shelves there are cornflakes, comma, Cocoa Pops, and Rice Krispies, give yourself a tick and a big well done. Okay, let's head on over to the next slide where we will see slightly different shelves again. Here they are, our restock shelves. So this time, on the shelves in my shop, we have got crisps, we've got baked beans, and we've got orange juice, okay? But I've written it as bags of crisps, cans of baked beans, cartons of orange juice, okay? An even trickier one. So, writing out the full sentence, please, starting with on the shelves there are. Can you write a sentence about what's on my shelves this time, remembering to use commas and thinking very carefully about where you need to place any commas? Okay, hit pause now and please start your writing. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. If not, remember, just hit pause because I'm about to head over to the next slide, which is going to contain the answer. Okay, so answer then is on the shelves there are bags of crisps, comma, cans of baked beans, and cartons of orange juice. So again, the items here, they're more than one word, okay? Bags of crisps. But that's one item. Bags of crisps. Yeah, cans of baked beans. Again, more than one word, but it's just one item. Cartons of orange juice. More than one word, but just one item. Okay? So, on the shelves there are bags of crisps, comma, cans of baked beans, and cartons of orange juice. If you wrote your sentence like that, give yourself a tick. And actually, I'm going to let you go ahead and give yourself bonus ticks, because I'm feeling very generous today. Bonus ticks if you remember to start your sentence with a capital letter and end with a full stop, okay? Love to hear if you got those bonus ticks as well. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this part. There is, however, an extra challenge, which I'd love it if you could have a go at. Okay, so your extra challenge, all right, is to write a list of things that you can find. It could be in a cupboard in your kitchen or in your bedroom. Okay, so for example, you might look in a kitchen cupboard and find pasta, soup, you might find some pasta sauce, and you write that as a sentence using commas, okay? So in my cupboard there are cans of soup, pasta, and pasta sauce, okay? You'd write it as a sentence. So here are some sentence starters that might be helpful. In my cupboard there are, in my room there are. Okay, I want you to have a little hunt, see what's in your cupboard, see what's in your room, and write a sentence telling me what you find, remembering to use commas in a list, remembering that you use and before the last item in a list. Okay, so please do send those to me, Mr. Fenn, or Mr. Fenn and I. We'd love to see them. Thank you very, very much for watching. Hit pause, by the way, if you want to use those sentence starters. They're up on screen. But all that's left for me to say for now is thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with today.